But don't be ashamed if you get confused when you talk to your friends or you watch the news. They try to tell you where it all went wrong. Now you don't need to argue, just sing this song. It was rich people stacking the deck, rich people with big fat checks, rich people, they're having a ball, rich people been us all.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Eat the Rich. I am Emily Walsh, and I'm here with my co-host and husband, Danny Moss.
Ahoy hoy.
I could tell you were going to do something I was going to hate. You were like, you get this little face where you're like, this is going to infuriate her.
It just popped into my head seconds before we did it. So.
I don't believe you.
No, it really did. It was
well. Then I caught the look in a mere matter of seconds.
That's right. Because you know me so well.
I do. All right, we're back. We're still sad.
Yeah.
It's still the Irish Potato Famine.
Yeah.
And just to be, just a note, we've gotten several comments that are like, it wasn't a famine, it was a genocide. I agree. It's just that calling it like the Irish Potato Genocide series is a lot. It's a lot. It's what people know it as a famine. It was also a famine. It just was a famine that was used for murder, essentially. But that, I get it. I get what you guys are saying. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not.
So we're getting some feedback.
A little, not a ton. And nobody's like, you pieces of garbage. They're just it's not a famine. And I'm like, listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Listen to the episode.
Yeah, because square, rectangle, could be both.
Same. But also, we're not done. This isn't the end.
Yeah.
There's going to be two more. Well, this and one more.
Yeah. So... Yeah, I'll just try to keep the dams around my eyes fortified.
Yes.
To keep from weeping.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But we added a chaotic element to this
for sure.
evening's episode.
Yeah.
Because friend of the show, listener Greg Ryan.
Shout out Greg.
He wanted to send us some Irish whiskey for the pod recording. Also, we were messaging and he was like, I know I also have a kid, but you guys are more tired than I am. And I was like, we might be. And he's like, no, but I think, and I was like, no, I think we are. But he sent us this bottle of whiskey that we got really excited about. And then Danny went out and decided to get a few more.
The Red Rest.
Because sometimes he forgets that we're no longer double income, no kids. Well, we're dinos.
You get a
double income, one.
Dino income, one kid.
Dino income, one. Because Dino.
I'd
rather be dinos.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, we're gonna add the whiskey in when we get sad. I don't know what our plan is.
My plan was those moments that went in the last episode.
It's like haunting.
When we took a break for fun fact, since we ran out of fun facts, I thought it'd be a good time to do a little classic whiskey tasting.
Because the problem with the internet is when you look up fun fact, they're like, interesting is the same as fun, and it's not the same as fun.
And it we
got a lot of famine facts.
A lot of famine facts.
AKA genocide facts. AKA, sad business. So, we're going to really...
I was trying to find the thing that Greg sent us. It said something similar to, like, if you're going to talk about my people, you should at least do it with their whiskey. So,
okay.
Which feels appropriate. So
fair enough.
A nice little smattering back there.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think I'm excited.
I'm not. I mean, yeah. But before we get into it, just really quick, baby and beverage check-in.
Right.
Where you at?
The baby is a baby. She's actually transformed in the last.
She's a teenager.
She's drinking her own bottle. She's like,
it's crazy.
basically using words, demanding things with her
essentially
fist.
Walking a lot of I hear that sound 6,000 times a day.
So much, and if you do not respond to the scream.
Also, the fake phone calls. We're getting a lot of
fake phone calls. That's fine.
Because if a toddler hands you an invisible phone, you must answer.
You must take it. Just like if a dog winks at you,
you back.
have to wink
right back.
Otherwise, you're cursed.
But she's asleep. She's been, I'm not gonna say anything actually.
Yeah,
but she's asleep.
we're just gonna say she is currently
asleep. Danny got a nap. I got a little nap.
I have had 2 coffees.
I had a big coffee. and then a carbonated, caffeinated seltzer thingy.
Okay.
And then a little hit of afternoon coffee.
I had a strawberry refresher from Dunkin' Donuts.
I hate everything that you're saying.
And it was, I didn't drink the whole thing.
You'd have diabetes.
Yes, I'd have diabetes. No, I think the kids are going to be all right, but the sugar content in those
drinks
drinks
for the kids, but we drink Mountain Dew.
Yeah, fair.
We drink Surge.
And coffee culottes were not.
And we're not okay
better.
either.
But yeah, there was some sort of promotional thing that one of my coworkers bought one of these strawberry things and was like, I can't drink this. And I was like, I'll try it. And I was like, oh, dear God.
And you're a guy who's had beverages with Nerds clusters in them by choice.
True.
So refreshers gotta be sweet.
Yeah. And I also, just to be clear, don't drink that Nerds drink from Sonic.
It turned purple in a bad way.
Yeah, it was somehow it made the Nerds inside taste kind of savory, which is crazy. It was that sweet. So yeah, there you go.
All right, well,
let's talk about genocide/famine.
That's babies and beverages. I guess we'll get into it.
Yeah.
As always, the main source for this series of episodes is The Graves Are Walking, The Great Famine and Saga of the Irish People by John Kelly. And yeah, it is real bad. Second harvest of nothing edible, essentially. And it is wintertime, and now they have just suffered a week of snow.
And the snow was a real twist. And people are still like, hey, if we helped you, you would need help for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, we still can't. If you teach a man to fish, he might know how to fish. So we simply can't.
You just can't do it.
We can't. They're not going to get any better on that front. They're going to get different. We're going to change up the ways we're not helpful, but still.
Yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
We're getting real close to one of those glasses of whiskey.
Yeah. Okay. So they got a shipment of American corn in finally in December, but already the need was much higher than what they had, of course, and a lot of it was delayed from a shipping shortage.
And they're still bad at processing it.
Yes,
probably.
They don't. Yes, and Trevelyan, our good old friend who likes to talk about scarcity, turned down the idea of using warships to go get the grain.
Oh, because he was worried about all of the war approaching?
He was worried about helping too much.
Oh, right.
But he did suspend the tax on foreign grain and the law saying that the grain had to be carried by British ships. But that did not do much.
Cool.
He said, acknowledged the people are starving. Actually, he didn't say this. A board officer in a town called Clare did. He said, the people are starving. I have stated this frequently, but I consider it my duty to state it again and again. Like, nobody is listening. They're hungry.
A board officer is in someone on the board, not somebody that
now
was
it's
just
like,
oh, I just
so
don't
bored
have
of us
anything else to do.
Do something else.
Come
Live.
on.
Surprise me.
Yeah.
So food depots now start charging less money than the market rate because people just can't.
People need to eat.
People need to eat, but they're still charging for food. Again,
also,
we're not giving
money
food
is still nonsense in this place.
Yes. And workhouses started bending their rules as well. They started feeding a few thousand people breakfast every morning, which is outside
because they
relief.
were like, we don't feed people.
They
build
only
roads.
feed them if you're like inmates, because the workhouses are essentially you and your whole family have to go live in a shame prison and work, and they'll feed you, but you must be
because if they're going to help you, you need to feel bad about it.
You need to feel bad about it. We're actually, that's a big theme this week. Okay, but and the workhouses also started admitting individual people before you had to go with your family. Now they're letting people in individually. The poor law. So the poor law is like the tax that has existed for a long time, but they're going to keep trying to maneuver. And we've talked a little bit about, but it's the tax on the wealthier people in the county that they're in to help pay for the poor people.
The thing that they didn't want to do, and now they're kind of forced to do it, but they're probably still trying to dodge it.
And every time I read it or hear it, the poor law, I'm always like, what is that? But that's what that is. Okay. I'll remind you again in like 20 minutes. But
yeah, sure.
The commissioners of the poor law tried to get these workhouses in trouble, but they just ignored the court orders and kept feeding people. So
wait, they tried to get them in trouble for feeding people?
They're not supposed to.
Come on.
That's the whole thing.
They're so hungry, and there are not so many people left, so just feed them.
There's still a lot of people left.
Yeah, true, but a lot of people do.
Yeah. So they just decided to wait for the poorhouses to go bankrupt because they were like, we're not going to give them extra money for what they're doing, so they're going to have to stop doing it eventually, which did not take long. And by early December, they had to cut off some services. Rooms were unheated, meals were cut back, and sanitation was ignored.
Oh, that'll help. With
It's only
going to
get grosser.
It
gets pretty gross.
The malnutrition and then you add disease into the
It's
whole
just
thing.
like bodily fluids everywhere in mud.
Yeah, kind of like Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. Less fire, more Limp Bizkit. I don't know what I mean by that. But yeah,
still corn though in both. I think.
Hey, this guy. That one didn't bother me.
Yeah.
So the weekly death rate. Jesus Christ. The weekly death rate by December 15th was 2,700 people a week.
Oh, boy.
Bodies are piling up. At a Skibbereen workhouse in 2 months, the mortality rate rose over 50%. So the amount of people dying, hundreds were dying.
And it feels like it's about to go exponential because all of the stores, all of the things keeping the bastions against death.
All the dams are
gone.
opening, to use your previous metaphor.
Sure.
And the emergency triage spaces that they're adding are literally like horse stables, open to cold and water. People are laying on beds of straw, and there weren't enough able bodies to bury the people dying. And the new issue was that the peasantry was going to the public works program for wages. So the peasantry was ignoring their land, because the thing is the people who are doing public works are not just non-landowners. There are people who own 5 acres, 10 acres that are doing public works.
And the whole farming system is set up on everything's so parceled out to each individual people that ends up having to work as a collective to make bigger money. And so those people are just that land is not. You can't use it for anything right now.
Well, for better or for worse, it won't be that way in a couple years.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But the land needs to be prepped if they're going to have a harvest next season. So Robert Griffith, a public works commissioner, created a thing called Circular 38. It was a proposition, and it was supposed to pay men.
Did it have another pamphlet?
Probably.
It was a circular.
How would they know about it without reading about it?
They need the pamphlet.
There's no radio, so
yeah, fair.
it is a pamphlet.
Yeah.
So the whole idea was that they were going to pay men for a fortnight, which is 2 weeks, to drain a certain amount of their land for prep, for harvesting or for planting. And if that person completed that work in 7 or 8 days instead of 2 weeks, he could do whatever he wanted for the rest of the time and be paid the same amount of money.
Okay.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Prime Minister Russell thinks
Shut
it's
it down.
a bad idea.
Somebody shut it down. Somebody shut it down.
Well, he was like, what would British people think? What do the British farmers think if they're not getting paid for doing nothing? We can't pay them.
Who cares? They're not dying of famine.
Correct. Correct. And I just want to remind everybody that, the Irish in this story are colonists, to the British, essentially. They're part of the UK. They're not, they're...
Yeah, it's not. They're not at this point their own autonomous thing, which probably should be because they're being overseen by a bunch of idiots.
It's a very Puerto Rico hurricane situation. Russell's out here throwing paper towels,
wearing shirts that are Irish are fine.
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah. What was that thing that Melania was wearing? Something.
I hate everybody. Yeah, it's I don't care about people. Yeah. Something ridiculous. So in December, the public works rolls, so the amount of people working, went from 185,000 to 441,000 people.
Okay, that's a bit of an up.
Yeah. Landowners were now supposedly supporting a group larger than the army. The amount of people that they're paying is very high. But apparently most of the landowners thought they wouldn't actually ever get to a point where they were going to have to pay this money.
Okay.
The government is setting out the money being but we're going to tax you for it. And they're send the bill.
I hear you.
You send that bill. I might not be home, but you come back around again. You ask for somebody else.
Yeah, I'll pay you in potatoes, rotten potatoes.
Yeah. And for some reason, there were still inquests into some deaths. There's the book... That's my editorializing for some reason. In the book, they're at an inquest about why public workers James Bryan died, they decided it was for the want of food. And they did an autopsy, and there was nothing in his stomach or most of his canal. There was like a tiny, tiny bit of poop at the end of his colon, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they're fucking hungry. Like, did we need not to... Maybe you got to look to make sure there's nothing else going on, but I'm like, they're fucking hungry.
They're hungry, yeah.
Like, how hard is it to be like, oh, they weigh 16 pounds. Do you think maybe they're hungry? Like, I don't.
This man's been shot by hunger.
By the lack of taters.
Yeah.
So on the public works rolls, every day, 400,000 people, more or less, are going to work, many of them not having eaten in the past 12 to 24 hours, wearing thin clothing in an Irish winter. And,
I love the fact that they're like, hey, you don't have a lot of food. You don't have a lot of money to buy food. We need you. In order for us to give you even a little bit, we need you to do backbreaking manual
labor that will make you more hungry. And the healthy young men who could have made up to $1 a day under this piecemeal system, because remember, we're just paying people for what they do, don't really exist anymore. Many of those men were dead or sick or leaving the country. Like, there's not this able-bodied workforce that's, getting this food and this money. And the cold and the fact that these men mostly didn't have gloves is really horrible. They would wake up in unheated cabins, march 3 or 4 miles on an empty stomach.
Work they stopped heating the workhouses too.
Yeah. And they couldn't afford to heat their own space, working through weather and exhaustion and hunger. And then they would get home and send their wives to the doctors to describe what was wrong with them.
Oh, God. I can't make it to the doctor, hon.
Can you tell him
too many miles
how
today.
sad I am?
Yeah. Oh, gee, I think it might be the hunger.
Yeah. So many men, as happens in many desperate times, began to arm themselves. We began to get guns. There was a firearms mania, and many officers on the public works crew would rather resign than give an unpopular order because they were honestly a little scared.
Yeah. For sure.
Like the coast to the west of Ennis had a vast army of unemployed squatters. Many people had given up hope for survival and were literally waiting to die. They did not think they would see the next harvest. And under the guidelines, they realized that upwards of 10,000 people weren't technically poor enough to be on the work rolls, but they were. They were men that had 10 to 15,000 acres of land, maybe a cow or two, and this guy named Captain Edmund Wynne, who arrived as an inspecting officer, was like, who are these people? They're not poor enough to be poor. And so he decided, he gets all fired up and indignant, and he makes this speech. He's like, I'm going to replace them with people who actually need the food, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very much like, how can poor people have phones kind of thing. Where you're like, they have one cow, they have 17 children. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he's literally saying this, and within the past few weeks, a board member had been killed and another attacked. And so tensions are very high, and the people that he's calling undeserving are also people who were deserving. Everyone's deserving of food.
Yeah.
And needed it. They had a few acres of snow-covered ground that was growing nothing, and multiple children and no other income. They need the help as well.
Yeah.
But Captain Wynne came in. He's like very high and mighty. He's shouting, and he brings his work rolls into public meetings. And he's like, this guy, we know this, like McDonald, he's got 2 cows, and his cousin gave him a sandwich. Gone! Like, he was like literally like crossing them out.
Like, just feed them. Like, what are we talking about?
Literally.
I love that when stuff like this happens, this big bureaucratic thing where they're just like, oh man, we're gonna solve it by getting rid of all of this fraud. And you're like, it's not fraud. They're hungry. Just like this is you're looking at such a minute little piece of this huge, massive thing.
Well, it's easier to assume that people are lying. Like, it's easier to not acknowledge the fact that like people need food stamps, and it's not people. Welfare queens was like the thing in the 80s and 90s. It's like people.
And there's also such still prejudice between the British and the Irish, and they're those big potato fed
I would
Irish.
say stronger than prejudice. They're like, I mean, if you live or die, it's kind of your fault,
for
but
sure,
we don't want to clean up your bodies. So at one point, a priest was talking about Wynne and said that he was going to he would attack him if there was not a collar around his neck. Like, people are getting mad at this. They're like, what's happening? And the next day, one of the overseers that worked for Wynn was shot by a man who jumped out of a ditch and shot him point blank. And he staggered home and could hear people around him laughing because they were like, yeah, we hate you.
We hate you.
And then Wynn ordered the public works project in Clare Abbey closed until the person who shot him was apprehended. So 900 people, because of that, were without food 2 weeks before Christmas.
Jesus.
Wine was now racked with guilt after seeing the hungry out in the cold. He felt a tiny bit of remorse, so he reopened the worksite and increased the labor force by 150 more people.
Yeah, okay.
So even he is like feeling bad.
Yeah.
But
and now bullet wounded.
And now, well, not him. This somebody worked for him.
Okay.
And things are even worse somehow. And weather is getting even worse somehow. So they're like, we probably need a new plan.
Yeah.
And so Prime Minister Russell is like, we got to come up with something else. But we had some interim ideas, some quick little ideas to help for a little bit. And for a bit of time, the anti-Irish sentiment was decreasing. The idea that they were benign, they were being. I was like, what am I trying to say? Benign. That they were slothful and ignorant. They're kind of cooling it on that because it's punching down to an extreme degree. And people also, there's a couple of mentions where it's like, honestly, people were getting uncomfortable with how many dead kids there were.
Right.
Like, there's just a lot of dead children. You can't, that's a really hard one not to, yeah, and even Trevelyan, the guy who wrote the book about scarcity, acknowledged that Ireland was in the middle of a, quote, stark, staring, downright, actual famine.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So when the guy who thinks nobody should have anything thinks maybe some people should have something.
He just had like 10 more of his books lined up, and he was like, I'm going to give these out. And then he's like, maybe,
you know what?
Maybe not right now. Maybe too soon. Maybe too soon.
Next year. Christmas next year. Okay, so we're starting
with the Redbreast 12 single pot still.
12 year,
yeah, Irish whiskey. It's a rich mix of dried fruit and spice with a toasted oak and sherry undertones.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm ready. We're gonna have a little sippy, and then I think I'm gonna add some ice because I'm an ice gal. Even my whiskey, everything's cold. Yeah, that's plenty. We got.
There's a lot of bleakness to go around.
It's
Emily.
Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. You gotta breathe in and tannins. I don't think it's tannins. That's whiskey. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm so used to only drinking whiskeys that taste like a campfire by choice. I'm like a peaty gal. That this is pleasant, like it's
really pleasant. It's bracing. It's warm. It does have fruity undertones.
It's true. It is a little odd to be drinking this in August, but we have the AC on. It's fine.
That's right. And the sadness in my heart is chilling me out.
It's so cold. It's so cold. Ireland is full of snow in the winter of 1847.
Yeah, so that's it's quite good.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Different vibe, but I'm all about it. Mm-hmm. The one that specifically that Greg wanted us to try was Teeling because it came from the town that his family is from.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so I definitely want to get some at some point, but our local, alcoholic
run on a Monday night.
Yeah, the local run with a baby.
Yeah. Did you ever run the stroller?
Oh yeah,
we
rolled her right in there, baby.
I love it. She's been there a few times.
I had to put her in the middle of the aisle to make sure she didn't grab any of the bottles.
I was wearing her when I went shopping before going to Girls Weekend, and I was getting stuff for several people, and so I had like 2 cases of High Noons and everything for like many Aperol Spritz, just wearing a baby that was like, and I was like, I'm a great parent.
There you go.
I'm
Did
really
you give her
good
the
at this.
orange to hold at least? You know.
She can't be trusted.
No, she can't. She'll throw it right.
She would have done a drive-by fruiting for sure. For sure.
So earlier, I thought of the phrase. You're gonna hate that. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. Yeah, be prepared. I thought of the phrase "See you later, alligator."
I picked him. Picked him.
Well, I figured it wasn't. This was
a good
this was a
moment.
little a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
After all those dead children you just told me about.
Yeah, there's going to be more.
Oh,
unfortunately.
super.
Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm scared I'm going to fall asleep before the. Are we becoming an Irish Famine podcast just so we can have whiskey every week?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Well, now it's because I've been thinking about it, not to continue to digress. People
Sure.
who really hate, we don't get feedback like this, but I'm sure somebody hates it.
The internet is full of all kinds of people.
I feel like before, when we didn't have a child, when we had more time,
Yeah.
this was less of a big thing that we had to fit in our schedule. But now this is like essentially our date night. It's like talking about dead children from 200 years ago.
Yeah.
So we might as well have some whiskey.
Yeah, I think that's right. This is our date night. Welcome to our date night, everyone.
Welcome,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Get ready with me for while we talk about the most depressing thing I can think of.
Unbox the sadness.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Next time you got to give me less. That's so much.
Okay. Just go ahead and take some of that.
Okay. Have a little ice.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So it is bad enough that private charity has started. People are starting to give money of their own accord. And weirdly, Trevelyan, I can't. Again, I guess it's the government reliance and the worthiness of it all. But they're very supportive of private charity.
Oh.
They just don't think the government should do
Got it. To be honest, at this point, I was expecting them to try to prosecute people that did private charity.
Wow, no. They're okay with that. They just don't. It's the government.
I mean, I think it's the like trying to get the landed, aristocracy to pay for the people below. Like that was kind of a sentiment that the British were okay with. So maybe that's the concept of the private charity of it all.
I think that the entire thing, because I think that some of the stuff that I've seen and read other than this book, and obviously I don't want to just like take the point of view of this one person, but I agree with him on some of it, where it's not it is genocide in the sense that it could have very easily been avoided, and they didn't do things that seem very straightforward.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it was out of hatred. I think it's out of indifference.
Yeah.
I think it's out of don't care. Would rather hold their principles than
right. And it is like the thing that's tough about all of it is that there is a certain amount of racism, and there's a certain amount, like that's the whatever is deeper than prejudice is part of the reason that they were justified in being like, well, you can't help them because then they won't help themselves, is because they thought so much less.
Yeah, because they're talking about them like they're 5-year-old children who they're like, you can't spoil, and it's like. It's the same way you can't spoil a baby because they're not trying to be tricky.
Yeah,
people who are dying are not trying to trick you. They're just trying to eat potatoes.
Yeah.
So private charity is happening. People are contributing. There are officers from the East India Company contributing, which is crazy. Because I keep forgetting Britain is like taking over.
Massive.
At one point, we're going to talk about Canada, and they were like, "Don't let them impression those impressionable young Canadians. We can't let them infect them." And it's like everybody's freaking British right now.
Yeah. And again, the British, the colonizing system, bad, evil, bad. Bad. Because they went into all of these places, said they owned them, and then turned them into money-making machines to prop up this empire that did not care about them.
Yeah.
And this is just the closest to home version of that.
The inconvenience of this for them is that people have a little more sympathy for the Irish because they are white people who live in a country attached to theirs instead of people who look different far away.
Yeah,
the news comes to them quicker, and we're going to talk about it later. But there's also some more pro-Irish sentiment once America starts getting a little more aware and involved, because so many Irish live in America, in Boston, on the coast.
Especially after they started moving.
Yeah, so they're like, they're people. We can have compassion. But
and then later we'll get into how American was racist and prejudiced against the Irish people.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Irish soldiers are contributing. The Queen, the Prime Minister, there are ladies' associations in the UK collecting weekly little bits of money, like the quilters, and everybody's kind of raising money for the Irish at this point. And the Society of Friends got involved, the Quakers.
Oh.
And there was a 3,000 person Society of Friends in Ireland that met in Dublin, and their co-chair, a guy named Jonathan Pym, said, the people must be kept alive, whoever pays for it, which not that radical.
Yeah. I feel like, some of this, the private charity of it all, smacks of like, I don't know who it was, like Shania Twain or whoever it was, the person,
Before you're throwing Shania under the bus?
I don't know if it's Shania Twain. You remember those videos about like you can like give
In
$1
the Arms of
a
an
day?
Angel?
Yeah, the arms of an angel.
She didn't do that herself to be manipulative. She let them use their song.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
I don't know why I'm defending her so hard. I'm
sorry.
fired up.
What I'm saying is that having these very public and outward private donations means that the more behind closed doors policy making meant that like they could continue being draconian while they were like on the outside
they're giving money. They're writing a check.
And that check is not enough to solve the big problem. But
Yeah.
they were like, look at all of the work.
Look at how
look
big
at all the good
check
works
is.
we're doing.
Yeah.
And,
maybe they invented ridiculously sized checks.
Yeah, maybe.
So be like, look.
Yeah.
An English Quaker, a guy named William Forster.
I just feel bad for dragging Shania Twain. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, you should. She didn't do anything to you.
In the arms
She didn't do anything to you. What's the guy on the bike? He did her wrong.
I don't have any idea.
Lance.
Oh, Lance Armstrong?
Is that an astronaut or a bike guy?
Bike guy.
Bike guy. He did. Yeah, they dated and he like cheated on her or something rude.
Yeah.
Boo Lance. Yay,
Boo
Shania.
Yeah, Shania.
Someday we will rest again and make sense. Not today,
One day
though.
we'll be at least as arrested as Greg.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
So an English Quaker named William Forster went to assist from the UK, and at a workhouse in Tipperary, he said the only way he could tell the difference between adults and children was their height, because the starvation had aged kids of like 8 years old looked like adults. That's how sunk it in. Yeah. So they wanted to create a network of soup kitchens, and he had actually helped run some in the UK. So that's part of the reason he was over there.
Okay.
And his son, W.E. Forster, came over as well and started visiting the villages. And there were villages where they went to where people weren't strong enough to not crawl to get food.
Oh,
like this is where we're at. And they went through these towns and they would wonder if people were alive, and they'd see these little cabins and they would just hear people moaning inside the doors, like slowly dying. Mm-hmm. This is our first very upsetting fact. Like everything's upsetting.
Okay.
But
just a quick check. We still have a number of years of ongoing famine to go.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Let me lay it on me. What's your very upsetting fact?
One woman had sought shelter in an outhouse from the weather and wind and was attacked and eaten by a pack of dogs.
Cool. Yeah. That's it sounds like that's gonna become less uncommon.
Yeah.
As the days go on.
Yeah. But like imagine being so desperate that you're like the outhouse.
Yes.
And then you get murdered.
You go
by your best friends.
Man's not so best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a porta potty.
Yeah. At this point, people are applying for assistance money to pay for their families' coffins.
God,
that's where
the
we're
dogs
at.
had to like get into the outhouse
and like chit chat with each other and be like, "Let's go murder that lady."
Yeah.
Like dog looks. Be like, yeah.
It smells like shit in there, but I think there's food.
I think there's a lady we can eat.
God damn it.
So
I gotta.
Whew. In Skibbereen, people were dying at such a quick rate in the workhouses that were dead in the alley, being eaten by rats and dogs. Women were knocking on the doors, begging for money for the dead children they held in their arms for their coffins, like holding their babies, being like, please, can you help me? I just want to bury my dead baby. We can't drink every time. It's so depressing. We'll die.
We'll die. Yeah. This is one of those drinking challenges that is not safe.
Every time you say the word like you'll die.
You'll die.
But at this point, the death rate in Skibbereen was around 10,000, and they predicted that they would lose about a third of their population at this point. So at the next meeting of the Board of Guardians at the local workhouse, a member of the board, a guy named Mr. Somerville, suggested opening a soup kitchen. But James Barry said they could not establish outside relief. So then they were like, wait. Okay, we can't give them outside food. What if, is it legal if we lend them food? You know, a very common practice.
Well, go ahead and lend them food, because I feel like all of the people in Ireland will be like, yeah, we're totally going to pay you back.
We're going to pay you back shit in your hand and then give it back. Like, there you go.
I've got these very aggressive dogs for sale.
Yeah. Would you be interested in a trade? I know that that's not our system anymore, but would you like a pack of dog murders that have the taste for flesh?
Yeah.
And a board member was like, maybe, but if we do that, it will have to be repaid in accordance to the poor law. But maybe. Another workhouse had been stopped because they tried to serve outside breakfast.
Come on. Everybody needs a bacon, egg, and cheese. What are we doing?
You gotta start the day with a little protein.
A little protein.
When was the last time these people ate protein? Weeks?
It's years, because they were eating just potatoes and like potatoes with
that's
like
crazy.
Flavored potatoes.
Our obsession with protein. Like if I don't have protein for one day, I'm like, am my bone density is going down? And they're just like, we haven't had protein in 6 years. This is gonna make you mad. In one area, they were like, hey, Trevelyan, we really need some food. People are dying in Skibbereen, where it's really, really bad. And Trevelyan's like, yeah, no, that's really bad. But they don't have a relief committee, and the relief committee is who we can give the provisions to give them out. So get a relief committee, and we'll send some provisions.
Unfortunately, that lady that died in the outhouse was the head of the relief committee.
Of the relief committee. Well, no, this is honestly even more upsetting. The community of Skibbereen did have money.
Yeah.
So it literally made no sense that these people are dying this way, because there were several million people there who would be millionaires today. In fact, the 12 wealthiest people in the region had an annual income collectively of what would be $25 million today.
Wow. Okay.
So there is money.
Yeah.
And they're Anglo-Irish gentry, and some of them are absentee British landlords. Like it's it's not necessarily Irish people staring down at other Irish people in the same sense, because that's the other thing that I haven't talked about a ton, but it is a big part of this, that like a lot of these, especially the remote towns, are the only places where people are still speaking Gaelic, where they have this like strong Irish tradition, this storytelling, this national pride. And they have been just pushed from place to place to place to place to place. And the people that are supposed to pay for them are often, UK educated. They're English speakers. Some of them are Protestant. Some of them are British, and they just own the land. They just inherited the land. They don't live there. So there's a lot of layers to it. I don't think they were necessarily standing out staring at the dead. I mean, some of them were, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's complicated, but Trevelyan was like, we can't do it because they don't have a committee. And Ralph was like, there's not even food. Like, what are you talking about? There's no money and there's no food. So what are you saying? And even men that had work tickets, like had been approved to do public works, couldn't find work. There was food in the town, in the inns and at the diner, but they just were not eating. And literally people, they individually describe a lot of stuff, but all you really need to know is there are families where they're huddling together in cabins, and like several of the people are dead and several aren't, and they're all still huddled together. Like it is as dark as it gets right now.
That is a bleak Grandpa George situation.
It's 1,000% starving to death Grandpa George.
Yeah.
It's just like 4 to 6 people in a bed being sad. No chocolate for nobody.
Just no chocolate for nobody.
Not even in a manipulative way where you try to trick them into being moral.
Yeah.
Although
we got some morality tricks.
Can be drawn from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Interesting.
Willy Wonka's like, if you don't act right, you're going away.
You're gonna get inflated.
And I don't care.
Like a blueberry.
Yeah.
And we'll have to squeeze the blueberry juice out of you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they squeeze
which
her.
probably leads to death.
Yeah, I think they all died. Those kids.
Yeah.
Roald Dahl's bleak.
Not in the first one, but the second one for sure. Like not in the Gene Wilder one.
No, I think they're dead. In
Oh,
Gene
okay.
Wilder one. We never see them again.
Yeah, it's true. It's
I
true.
think they're definitely dead. So things are bad. On January 19th, in 1847, so we're into a new year, Queen Victoria went to speak to Parliament, and everybody's dressed up. She takes a royal carriage. There are beefeater, guys, ladies in waiting.
Bulldog is there.
Somebody's like, the hats were so big, they should have been in the Navy. It's... And basically, she just gives a speech acknowledging that things are bad.
Yeah.
And then she leaves. And then 6 days later, Russell, Prime Minister, addresses the House of Commons and is like, we've failed. We have failed. And for basically the past 18 months, the government was like, we can't feed the people. We can't feed all the people. We can only do these little relief measures. But now they've tried everything.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of people are dead. Hundreds of thousands of people are likely to die. So now they're like, what if
Big idea.
we fed them?
What if we fed them?
What if we fed them? So they decided under the Temporary Relief Act in March of that year that the 700,000 person workforce at this point, public workforce,
Up from 400,000, up from 100,000.
700 now. It's going to get close to 8 by the end, but 700,000 was going to be closed. Yeah.
Just closed.
That'll help.
Yeah.
Well, they don't need money because we're going to feed them.
Oh, I see.
So
to be honest, they probably shouldn't be working. They should just be fed.
But also, you got to do one or the other.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're going to do one and stop doing the other.
Yeah, and also, you can't just do both until you get the other thing rolling. Because that's what they keep doing, where they keep being like, new plan, stop everything.
Stop, halt
halt everything. We've got a new plan.
They literally
will take a month
hitting
and a
the
half.
button dramatically on a printing press of all the pamphlets. And they're like, but we're hungry. And they're like, no, not yet. So they're going to close it in stages is the concept. And as work sites disappeared, soup kitchens would show up in their place. And then the dismissed workers could go home and plant their fields. So that's the concept.
Sure.
The idea also would include a $50,000 loan that the government, or pound loan, that the government would use to get potato and grain seed to these tenants, to these small acre farmers, because they had already eaten their seeds as food at this point.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Maybe different type of potatoes.
So Russell just didn't really mention with this brand new plan that a big part of it was that in August of that year, they were going to transfer the rest of the costs to Ireland when they closed the soup kitchen.
Oh, okay.
So the soup kitchen's closing in August, according to this plan.
Ireland that is super flush right now, has lots of cash.
And also the fields that aren't being planted, we're banking on them being full of healthy potatoes in September.
Right. Even though we've done nothing to
Yes.
change the fact that potatoes do be dying in them streets.
They do be dying in them streets and in them fields. But it would create outdoor relief for the old, incapable, orphans, poor widows, and sometimes even the able-bodied poor. The one thing that they did that I guess is nice, but also literally doesn't matter because money is fake at this point and whatever, they would forgive half of the $9 million pounds in debt that the Public Works program had accumulated.
Sure.
So, but because of adding these new things, these new plans, basically the Irish were going to be having the poor rate forever. There's no end in sight. And so the first thing that this new plan achieved was having 500 leading Irishmen from all over come together and put aside their political, emotional, historical differences because they were like, this is a bad idea. We would like a new plan.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, this is the Irish gentry and everything. And I got to say, I don't disagree with, they're all bad, but I don't disagree with this as a concept because they're like, okay, you're saying that we're a union. You're saying that Britain and Ireland are under the same
we're together.
thing.
We're a team.
So how can Ireland be a drain on England if we're the same thing?
Yeah.
It's not the English treasury, it's the treasury.
Yeah.
It's our treasury.
Right.
So we can't drain the treasury. And the Brits were like, okay, so you just want our money. They're like, we're the same except for when we want to be different.
You're right. Right. we own you, so I don't know what to tell you. And who said that? We said it. So.
We said it. Sorry.
Gross.
Yeah. So they decided to create. There's one guy named Lord George Bentnick. He decided to appoint himself the spokesperson of the Irish peasantry, even though he was not an Irish peasant.
Sure.
And went to the Commons saying that they should create a large-scale railroad project, that could create some work. That the plan that he had in mind would create 110,000 new Irish jobs and feed 550,000 people, and that the means to create this basically already existed because they had approved a plan to build about 1,500 miles of railway, and only 100 or so had been built by now. So they just needed 16 million pounds, and they would wrap that up.
Just go on and make a little railway so we can move our boxes of empty potato, cars from one part of the country to another.
Nobody got really excited about that idea.
No, I mean, I think it's better than roads to nowhere, but it's just like, I don't know, can we plant something else? Can we do something food related with these works?
If this 2 years ago, maybe this would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
Now you just got to feed them. Stop talking. And go to the fields yourself and pick some food.
Right, and figure out why the potatoes are dying.
Yeah, put it on a boat. This also would this wasn't Daniel O'Connell's idea, but the Liberator, the guy who's really intense and political, this would be his last appearance before the Commons in February of 1847, and he didn't even have a plan. He just was like, we need help.
Yeah.
Please help
Please
us.
help us.
So by early 1847, people in other places were starting to feel a lot of sympathy all over the world. The Choctaw in Oklahoma, who had just gone on the literal Trail of Tears, raised $170 between them to send to Ireland, which is roughly $7,000 now.
Yeah.
Like they were like, we have nothing. But we know what it's like.
But you have less nothing than us.
We're sending you money.
Yeah.
And now there's a monument to the Choctaw, which I think is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also, there is a museum of the Irish famine in Connecticut, but it is temporarily closed.
Oh.
So that's weird. But
let's go there and figure it out. Do some investigative journalism as to why it's not open, and also check out that museum.
People sent the money from the U.S., from Europe, from Canada, from South America, and Europe was sympathetic, but not a ton because they were not going to get super sympathetic while the Irish were stealing ladies' hats and shooting at officers. And the Irish grand juries in Ireland were trying to indict Russell and Ralph for the willful murder of people at this point.
Stealing ladies' hats?
Just like in...
just general...
they just think they're being silly.
And doing crime because they're hungry.
Well, they're doing the crime because they're hungry and furious and disenfranchised, but the Brits are like, stop taking our hats.
Got it, okay.
Trevelyan had a new idea and thought that maybe a letter from the Queen would help raise some more money, and they would stop needing the Treasury's money. So on New Year's Day, the newly created British Association for the Relief of Extreme Distress in Ireland and Scotland gathered.
What's that acronym look like?
BEARDIS.
Okay.
BEARDIS. And a few weeks later, they issued the Queen's letter, and it was the first celebrity-oriented international charity event. Like, it was the first, We Are the World. You stop talking about Shania. So, in addition to the English donations, which included 2,000 from Queen Victoria and 1,000 from the Worshipful Company of Grocers, the Sultan of Turkey donated 1,000 pounds, Florence 1,000, St. Petersburg almost 3, Constantinople a few hundred, Denmark over 1,000. All in all, the British Association would raise 470,000 pounds.
Which today is huge money.
Yeah. Millions.
Still, maybe not enough to feed an entire country
but it's not.
Hungry,
it was at least worked.
Yeah.
They also got access. The association got access to the Navy's boats, and the Treasury would pay for the insurance, freight, and shipping charges for the money and food. So the food crisis at this point, we're now at its worst thus far, which obviously is just going to keep getting worse. But we've hit a new low. One town reporting only having 7 pounds of cornmeal left. And an association agent certified the existence of the shortages, and then provisions would be released. So they're
like, wait a minute, we got to make sure that you're actually hungry.
I need to see at least 4 people eat by dogs before I'll send you a meal.
Oh God.
I mean, literally, what are we doing here?
And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you actually have 7.2 pounds of food, so we can't help you at all.
And the British still believed that high prices were going to be the effective way to ration the food supply.
Okay, cool. There is not enough food. There's not enough food. And money is meaningless. What are we talking about?
Hey, there's not enough food.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're paying them less at the workhouse. Let's charge them more.
Let's charge them more.
Oh, later, I watched a really intense video about AI surveillance wage-like theft, which is going to get you real mad later. I got a book I got to read.
Boy, flock cameras, am I right? We're getting close to needing our next whiskey.
We are getting close.
Oh, no, I'm saying I'm going to tell you something upsetting soon.
Okay, I'm going to start unwrapping one. What do you think we should go for next? You want to do the one from Cork or the little guy?
This one's from Merchant's Quay.
Okay.
Virgin oak to reach our bourbon.
The guy at the front desk said that's some good juice.
Let's do this one.
All right.
Meanwhile, the weather's getting bad again. There are sea squalls on the coast, and boats were getting pinned against the harbors. They couldn't go out. Some boats were literally like getting smashed into the rocks. And there were regions, a place called Skull, appropriately.
They were just into sculling?
I guess. There were a little place on the west coast, 84,000 acres roughly of uneven rocky ground, and only one real village of substance, but there were ruins of medieval castles everywhere, and roughly 18,000 people lived in Skull. They really only had fishing as an industry. They couldn't really farm. Most of them still spoke Irish, and they barely knew the UK themselves, but people knew of Skull because it was known to have some of the absolute worst suffering.
Oh, that's not an award you want.
No.
That's not what you want.
People were starving to death together. One cabin, a man knocked on the door and asked if he could come in and lay down for a moment and just died. Children's bodies were everywhere, being eaten by rats. A woman was carrying this guy was visiting, and a woman was carrying her dead child on her back in a burlap sack, and he said that these were everyday occurrences. The weather got even worse, and they had 3-foot snowdrifts everywhere, and people were eating the diseased bodies of cows. The elderly were foraging through 3 feet of snow for grass on the ground. Some were walking 10 to 15 miles to the next town. So at this point, people are doing whatever they can. 1,000 people from Skull went to a nearby town and attacked a local food depot. Another group in Mayo raided a provisions boat. And in port towns at this point, people are just lining up on the cliffs, hoping someone will come rescue them. Like, they're like, I'm going to jump in any boat that comes close enough. The swelling tide of people emigrating actually was starting to alarm people in the rich in the UK. One of them, Lord Borgram, who was a Lord Chancellor of England, gave this whole speech and accused that the Irish poor were defying the will of God by not dying.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So there's this whole
idea. Who cares
idea...
if they're gone or not gone if they're dead? Like,
well, that's what
just let them leave. Like, what are we talking about?
No, he's mad they're coming to his country.
Oh.
Yeah,
they're emigrating to... I see. They're mad about them coming to the UK.
Yeah. Which is that we're in London.
Yeah. It's the same treasury.
Yeah. So there's this whole idea of providence. Providence is like when God does stuff. And he said Providence, who sent the potato disease, meant that many should die. So there's a lot of people that are like, this is punishing you for your ways and your love of potatoes.
This is the thing about religion being misused to have massive groups of people die. It's not It's not the way, everyone.
Yes. In one recent 48-hour period, 3,000 Irish poor had shown up in Liverpool. Like, it was happening very quickly. And they were worried that the Irish would go to Canada and turn it Catholic. And they would set a bad example for those impressionable Canadians, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Copeland.
Yeah, so let's get in there. Oh, boy. This will be a good little palate cleanser. This is the Copeland Merchant's Quay blended Irish whiskey, non-chill filtered. It's a product of Ireland. Let's see what else we got here. Double distilled malt, virgin oak recharred bourbon barrel.
I'm just gonna get a little palate cleanser of my
That's
orange
smart.
vanilla seltzer. The way everyone.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm just trying to rage bait the one person who tuned in because they were like whiskey
Whiskey
tasting.
tasting. I did use a fresh glass, so
Oh, okay, great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lounge.
Wow.
Oh, smokier. Wow. Different.
Goes down nice though.
Yeah. Good juice.
I'm wondering if the reason I like really smoky things is to keep myself from drinking it really fast.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because this, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you, mother's milk. Like, what am I? It's not what you want.
No, the Redbreast went down very smoothly. I could probably drink a large glass of it and then be too drunk to function.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is also
Oh, this
good
kind of
juice.
It has like a. There's like a caramely after. There's like something.
Yeah. Well, it has the. I was wondering if we should save it, but I wanted to have it. Oak spice and orange peel is often a toffee.
Toffee. Here we go.
Toffee, vanilla, and clove spice.
Yeah, that's what. There's something like toffee.
The finishing notes.
Different.
I like it.
Yeah. We're learning all kinds of new stuff today.
Oh, yeah. So the Works program had now grown to 708,000 workers and a monthly cost of $944,414, which is close to $500 million a month.
Got it.
But it needed to be reduced. And that was difficult. And a lot of people in charge were very scared to cut the work roles. Some people even started adding people to the roles because they were like, I'm not.
Yeah.
And they challenged
I'm
one
not going
guy.
down for this. You know?
Basically, I'm not going down for this. But they challenged one guy. They were like, you have to cut these. And he's like, if you make me cut the roles, I'm going to send their dead bodies to your house in a cart.
Ooh, good.
Which I'm like,
Hold your ground.
Yes,
Yeah.
like yes, because they're not. It's just not literal. That's the problem with all of this. Is like I feel like to the UK, to the people who are incredibly out of touch, it's just not literal to them. They're not seeing it. They're not feeling it. They're not, or they're the most callous people in the world. Because I can't imagine how you could witness these people that you're like, how old are they? I can't tell. Their face is sunken in, and be like, burp, 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 they deserve it. Like,
in a. Again, under a financial system where you have the means to help them.
Yeah.
And they're right there.
And I'm not, we listed it at one point. I'm not going to do it every year. They're exporting so much food. They're exporting, they're exporting cattle. They're exporting butter. They're exporting food that could keep the country alive.
Yeah.
But they're exporting. It's gone.
Yeah. Because they need to pay for all of this, corn that they're getting and they can't eat.
That they can't eat.
Yeah.
So people couldn't find work, so many more people were throwing themselves at the workhouses. And the workhouses total were supposed to have an occupancy of 100,000, and already we're at 116,000. So they are all full. There's 5 or 6 people to a bed. There's no sanitation, and there's fever everywhere.
Of course.
And so the way, I don't know why I think this is funny. I think just to try to find anything that's joyful. They call the quarantine buildings fever sheds.
Oh,
and I just think it's funny. I'm like, go back in the shed.
Down the fever shed.
Do you feel better?
Yeah, it's...
But a lot of people didn't have fever sheds. So then they couldn't even quarantine the sick, so everybody's getting sick.
Yeah, right.
One workhouse of 930 people that was meant to have 800 had 25 deaths a day. Just 25 people a day. People were poor and naked. And at one point, Trevelyan even looked at samples in his office in the UK of winter clothing that was intended for black women in the West Indies. They could have bought petticoats for 3 shillings 3 pence or shifts and stockings, but no records show that he ever actually bought any clothing.
I think all these people making these choices need to go sit in the middle of one of these towns.
For a full 24 hours. Oh, there's going to be something that's going to make you so mad later. It's going to make you so mad. One workhouse in County Kerry that was built for 1,000 and already had 1,200 had a squatter camp formed outside. And when they went to send the squatters away, the women were literally just holding up their infants, being like, please, please help us. And when all these people were finally left, the yard was covered with chewed up bones, human excrement, and burn marks from the fires. Just like a war zone, essentially.
Yeah.
Bodies in the poorhouses are everywhere. They're getting so numerous that they're putting bodies in corners. They're putting them under the stairwells. They're leaving them in sleeping areas. Normally, the carts, like for the dead, would sweep through every 24 hours, but they literally could not keep up. So they're like, where do we put the next one? Like, it is so rough. After inspecting a South Dublin workhouse, Mr. Barden, a relief official, said that the place was a haunt of desperate suffering. And then he went home and shot himself.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is I'm like, if you look at it with your eyes,
Yeah.
you have to have more compassion.
Right. And then it's also like looking at it with your eyes and realizing that you've been part of like keeping these people down, and then knowing that it's impossible to talk the people back in Britain into doing more.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Roof stoof. So these houses were not built to be 30% over occupancy. Poor houses were falling into debt, and some of the workhouse guardians had to personally guarantee that the bills would be paid if local merchants would bring them food. Like they'd have to be like, I promise you.
Yeah.
Like me, Tom, I'm telling you, I will pay you. In 1838, which was years before, the law said that they could collect a new poor law. So if things got really bad, you could send out a second collection. And they got to the point where they sent out a third, but it was difficult because they didn't have the people to go ask for them. Everybody's bleeding money. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's not a matter of just, ask again, and they'll, you know. Some of the workhouses had to stop providing coffins. Another started using reusable coffins, where they would let you have a service carry them to the burial ground and then shoot them into a large hole.
No. Pass.
Yep.
Pass.
One workhouse had to tried to purchase unground corn, and the inmates threw nails into the hand mills as protest, which is like,
all right, the hand mills that they were like, hey, you can grind your own corn
yourself. Like, you know that energy you have.
Yeah.
In October of 1846, so at the kind of the beginning-ish of this whole saga, 4 out of 1,000 would die every week. And by mid-April of 47, it was 25 per 1,000. So
like 6 times, a little more than 6 times the amount.
By March 1847, poor house deaths alone would be 77,630.
Sure, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I can really taste the vanilla.
Yeah. The toffee is really hidden.
It's nice. It's like a dessert.
Yeah, it kind of is a dessert. Maybe in retrospect, it could have been.
Could have been last.
Yeah.
Are we doing all 4?
I don't know. Maybe.
It
depends how much more bleakness do you have.
We gotta go back to the store. So on January 16th, the Times headline was "Widespread Mass Extermination." If that helps. Landowners were trying to reduce their costs before this new Extension Act, so they were organizing mass evictions.
Oh, that'll help.
Yeah, because the thing is 20 to 30 acre men paid up to half of the poor rate for them.
What is the point of rent when all of these people are dying?
Rent.
Who cares?
Yeah. Paper money is nothing.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You know, I'm chill. I'm cool. I'm fun.
I'm cool.
I'm fun. We're having a good time.
We're having a great time. Date night. So fun.
It is a date night.
Date night. But yeah, so the men who owned 20 to 30 acres would pay at least like half of their own poor rate. But if you had less than that, the cost would often just fall to the landowner. So if they evicted a few hundred people, it would really cut down their costs. So a guy named Lord Lucan, who would later be immortalized in the poem The Charge of the Light Brigade, sent 600 people himself to their deaths. He was a bully and very cost-conscious. In 1846, he had a local poorhouse closed, and somebody else, one of his peers, was like, that's great, because then the poor either starved to death or they left. You know? So problem solved.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And when the Poor Law Amendment was definitely going to go through, once he knew it was going to happen, he drove another 2,000 people off their properties.
I'm angry, Emily Walsh.
Some people felt that they should use something that the Scottish had called the Encumbered Estates Act, because they had restructured their class system, basically. And they had allowed newcomers with money to come in and buy out a lot of the poor aristocrats that owned the land and couldn't.
So you mean this problem that we're having right now where, a third of the landowners are out of the country and absentee landowners, and so they can't really see the suffering that they're overseeing, and they don't really want to pay for it, and so they're just not. They want to do more of that?
No, they want to do less of that.
Oh, okay.
Like the Scottish, but they're not going to.
I see.
The Scottish are doing better than them.
I thought you were saying the Scottish were going to come in and buy Ireland.
No, they're suggesting that the Irish do what the Scots did, which allow people to come in who live there and buy up
I see.
the land. And
Sorry, I got confused. I thought they were trying to like outsource even more of the ownership of the country.
Basically, the Scots are paying for their own relief a lot, almost entirely, and the Irish aren't. And so they're like, what if we did what they had done?
Yeah, but they've got all that haggis to eat. So.
Yeah. And the London insurance companies held a lot of Irish mortgage debt, and they didn't want hundreds of estates flooding the market and depressing property values.
Because that is important.
That's what we're worried about
right now.
Okay. So the last big topic of the night.
Okay.
And then next week we'll talk about something even more fun called coffin ships. I was going to say that for the end, but I spoiled it.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
They all die on the boats. So many people. So many people.
Damn it, Emily Wall.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't think this topic is hard. Next, I'm looking. I have some ideas, but anybody who has a silly, maybe a scam.
I think I've got a silly. It's not silly. There's third-degree burns, but it's light.
Hilarious.
It's lighter.
Yeah, no, we got to go lighter than this.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna walk into the sea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one next when we get to it.
It's coming. Don't worry. So, the next phase.
What do you got? What's coming?
Just a little something called pestilence.
Oh.
Everybody getting sick.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
sure.
everybody gets
Why, though? They seem so robust.
So weird, sir, right?
Yeah.
We haven't had as many haunting phrases that'll fill you right up, but we're going to have one right now.
Is this coming?
Yeah. In 1849, reflecting back on 1847, when they asked Dr. John Callahan when the pestilence reached him, he said that in the winter of 1847, fate opened her book in good earnest, and the full tide of death flowed on everywhere around us.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. High tide for death, huh?
High tide for death. High tide for death. There's the wave is coming in. People knew from history that blight would often lead to pestilence. Like the blight of a crop would often lead to sickness.
Right.
And
because everyone's weaker and more susceptible to even the smallest of diseases.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in 1816 to 1819, when there had been a lot of crop failure, about 65,000 people had died from it. So they were not unfamiliar. That was roughly 30 years ago, but they were not unfamiliar. And fever was already very prominent in Ireland because of the
fever sheds.
The fever sheds. Because people were poor, because hygiene wasn't always great. Fever was already prevalent. So they did have about 100 fever hospitals already. Workhouses were obligated to provide fever care, but only 2 poorhouses in 45 had it. And at the time, the treatment for fever was hot whiskey, the fairy doctor, which I don't honestly know what that is.
Yeah.
Prayer, I guess. And literally praying Hail Marys, being like 10 Hail Marys, and maybe you won't have
I assumed they were just going to like dunk them in they don't have ice, probably.
Where would they get ice?
I don't know.
Literally, they'd have to ship it from an iceberg.
In the winter, pretty easy because they had all that snow.
So, in 1846, they did create a temporary fever act because they were like, fever's coming. But weirdly, there was no fever the first year of the famine.
Okay.
So in 1847, they let the act expire. And Parliament was like, ordinary law will deal with the famine. So basically, no extra relief for fever if it comes. But it didn't come this year, so it'll never come.
We bought a really nice umbrella, and they were like, we didn't need this umbrella, and we got rid of it.
Rain. Leave it in the closet.
And then tsunami. That's the wrong one.
Monsoon.
Monsoon. Yes.
So in February of 1847, an American visitor, a guy named Elihu Burritt, went to investigate the fever, and in Skibbereen, he saw such extreme circumstances. There was limited space in the ground for graves, so people were digging up each other's dead to bury their own.
God.
People were
Damn it.
guarding their family members' graves, and again, the crawling. Some were in line for food on all fours, like quote famished beasts. He went to a water house near the workhouse to find the people with the fever, and there were only about a dozen in there. They appeared to all be dead. They had swollen heads, oozing sores. They were bleeding, parched, and jaundiced, and he was about to close the door thinking they had all passed, and one of them called for water.
Jeez.
Yeah. So there was no fever, weirdly, the first year, and now they're saying it feels like it fell from the sky. It's everywhere.
Oh, everyone.
It's everywhere.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Clonakilty.
Clonakilty.
Yeah, an Atlantic distillery. It's a cork distillery.
Okay, we love.
Irish whiskey, single batch.
I love that it's the whale tail.
Yeah, it's the gentle cut, non-chilled filtered. The whale tail is quite nice. It won a San Francisco World Spirits competition, so double gold. Let's see how I feel about it.
PBR won a blue ribbon, but we'll see.
We'll see. I do like the whale tail. It reminds me of like Cape Cod.
Traditional.
Very traditional.
Feels like if you told me describe a nice Irish whiskey, I would say this.
Yeah. Yeah, no toffee in this one.
Are there notes? The gentle cut.
It goes down pretty smooth though.
It is smooth.
Yeah.
Soft spices and vanilla lead to flavors of ginger, hazelnut, and a long finish with toffee caramel sweetness and spicers lingering on the palate.
Yeah. Long finish.
Matured,
would
finished,
agree.
and bottled in Ireland.
Yeah.
Clonakilty Distillery. What's the appropriate age to take your child to Ireland? They can't have whiskey.
1 year, 3 months.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah, roughly. She'll love it.
She'll love it.
She'll love it.
She'll love it. It's also now her heritage.
That's true.
You know, a little farther back, but not that much farther.
Wear some big sweaters. As far as I know, I'm like 80%. I'm not going to pay the DNA
Yeah, no.
people.
You think we can get the dog DNA people to do DNA for us?
What happens if we... I just don't... I mean, I guess catch my family who's committed crimes. I don't know. It feels weird to give myself into that.
Yeah, well, all of that DNA. So we should do a series on all of those DNA things being basically data mining.
Yeah, no, it's all just... Because you're literally like, here's everything about me, and now you have my DNA.
Using surveillance. It's basically getting over HIPAA laws. They're doing this.
As far as I know...
Shenanigans.
I'm like 15/16 Irish, but I don't actually...
Yeah. What's the last 15?
There's a little bit of German.
Okay.
And then Walsh is the name for people from Wales that moved to Ireland.
Okay, so a little farther back, probably some Welsh
Yeah.
heritage. Yeah.
But also, like, honestly, like, my mom's parents, the Dunnagans, were a little more Irish pride. I feel like the Walshes are like, we're Irish, but we don't, like, do things about it. Like, other than, like, St. Patrick's. There's no, like, I don't know anything about...
Yeah.
Much about it, and my grandparents were like very intensely Boston Irish, and their pride was like Boston Irish and like the Kennedys.
Well, and you talked about the idea that like St. Patty's Day as
it's
we
Americanized.
See it, is an Americanized.
Yeah, they don't. Ireland doesn't celebrate it. Like they don't care at all. Right. But like my grandparents were like they had some Irish pride, but they also had like American pride because they were first generation.
Yeah.
So they were like, we did it. We're here.
Right.
But
some of them were fleeing the potato famine?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I don't know when your relatives came over.
I don't think so because my mom's parents, I actually don't know when my dad's parents were born, but roughly around the same time, I would imagine. But my mom's parents were born in 1917 and 1919 in Boston.
Okay.
So
it would be
too late to be fleeing, but
probably
also leaving the sadness of the aftermath.
The aftermath was probably not great.
Yeah.
Not great. I did. You were talking about your probable Welsh heritage. I met a Welshman once on an airplane. It was a long flight too, and he was very chatty. And apparently, he helped re-roof Canterbury Cathedral. So we talked about slate roofs for quite a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a cool dude.
I do think I'm from Cork, but only because my mom used to say it at my grandma's house. Like, no, I don't. I'm gonna do a little Google.
Yeah.
'Cause I honestly don't know. But yeah.
You know what? This would be so chaotic. But do you want to get Patrick Hasty to come back for the
I was
fourth
like, my
episode?
dad?
No, yeah, your dad. No, Patrick Hasty to come back for the fourth episode, the last episode of this series.
This is the fourth. You mean the fifth?
Oh, right, the fifth.
This is my first fiver.
The fifth and final. But we had him on. Y'all may remember. Maybe you weren't listening at that time.
Firefest.
The Firefest
from
live
Scotland.
while we were at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I love Patrick. He's so chaotic and fun, but he'd bring a very interesting vibe to the.
Let's
to
bring
the
him
end.
in. Yeah.
Maybe he's our fun facts.
Just Patrick.
Yeah.
We'll see. You listening? Okay. We gotta talk about typhus. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh boy.
They got typhus.
Do they have Typhoid Mary out there? Do you know anything about Typhoid Mary?
I know a little bit about Typhoid Mary.
I want to know about Typhoid
The
Mary.
incredibly short version about Typhoid Mary is that she was a cook.
Okay.
She was in America.
Sure.
Very few people carry typhus or typhoid or what.
Like
yeah.
asymptomatic.
But yeah,
typhus,
so she didn't get sick, but she was a cook, and it kind of seems like she was just stirring soup with her arm. Like she had like no hygiene, and she made a lot of people sick, and they kept being like, they kept putting her in like jail and being like, stop being a cook, and she'd be like, and then she'd leave and murder somebody else with her germs.
Got it.
And then eventually they put her on an island with like a little dog.
Oh wow.
I think in New York.
Huh.
I'll have to look it up.
That's a wild story.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really like our story because she wasn't doing it for money.
Yeah.
I think honestly she was just like, what are you talking about? Like,
Sure.
But yeah.
They're
no,
like,
it's-
please stop giving people typhoid.
Yeah.
Is that a thing you just have forever? Like, is it?
So I'm going to get into it.
Okay,
But basically everybody relapses a few times, but then by
Got
like
it.
the third or fourth relapse, you're either done or you're dead.
Oh, cool. And
Yeah.
it seems like a not pleasant
It's not.
ailment.
I'm going to describe it for you right now.
Let's
we did try. We did try it.
Yeah, but let's do a little to Mary.
Actually, the
Yeah, this is just like
this is like
Straight
really
down the
good
barrel
straight down the
whiskey.
barrel whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The My Favorite Murder episode about Typhoid Mary is very funny because Karen Kilgariff can do a very funny Irish woman accent, and that is worth listening to, and that's where I got honestly that little bit of anecdotal information.
Yeah.
So shout out to them.
I
Listen
wonder
to
what
that.
kind of little dog she had.
It was a terrier.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I think she was on the like North Brother Island or whatever. Like I think it was like one of the New York islands.
Oh, really?
I think that is a
Yeah. Who knows? We didn't research that. I was just I had some whiskey, so
I had more than I meant to, but we're gonna have some liquid IV when this is done.
that seems smart. The bleakness, Emily.
It's so
The
bleak.
bleakness.
I know it's just Monday night. Oh
Yeah.
God, we're doing great.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
How are y'all doing?
Okay, so fevers everywhere. The most common was typhus. And the symptoms included red blotches on the skin, the arms, chest, and torso. A fever so intense, so warm and uncomfortable that some people jumped out of windows to find relief.
Because of the wind while they were falling?
They just felt hot and insane.
they
They
wanted to
literally
be out.
feel
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, okay.
They're twitching. There's muscle pain, very intense muscle pain, mental impairment, and walking like with a drunken gait. Like it is
Got it.
bad.
It's bad.
It is not just like I don't feel. It's like
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? But if people could make it through the worst of it, usually they recover with
Okay.
just typhus. We're good.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
Sure, because there's more to come.
There's more to come. But if it's just typhus, leading up into now, most people, if they made it through the fever period, recovery would be uninterrupted. However, now people were relapsing 3 or 4 times,
Got it.
and so way more likely to die.
Got it. So normally, like up to before everyone was starved and immunocompromised because of malnutrition, they would relapse maybe once, but then it would be an on-way, like a.
See, it's a little confusing, but Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They basically people just died way less before because it was one issue they were dealing with and not this amount. So a guy named Dominic John Corrigan, who was the 5-time president of the Irish Royal College of Physicians, was like, "Hey, everybody, the reason more people are dying is malnutrition. Like every time we've had this fever, rich people never die more than poor people.
Right.
Like." Fever is indiscriminate, but the rich survive, and it's because they had food in their bodies to sustain them through. And people at the time were honestly a little skeptical of that explanation, but eventually over time, people would realize that that is what happened, and that it was aggravated by the overcrowding, by the concept of germs.
Medicine is crazy.
They don't know about germs yet.
No.
They don't know about germs yet.
Yeah, because they're just like, I don't know, put them in the fever shed.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, they're like, we know you have to be over there.
Yeah.
But they don't, and so lice is a problem.
Okay.
Lice is a huge problem. This is a little gross. If spoiler,
If you don't like little buggies.
Skip a minute if you don't want to hear me describe exactly how you get typhus from these bugs.
Can I skip the minute?
No, unfortunately. You've made me listen to the most messed up stuff on the planet. You made me think about a woman who's had 20,000 pap smears, and I wake up every morning and I think about her. You're going to listen.
Her name was also Mary.
To the lice.
Yeah.
So lice is a very hearty little critter.
Okay.
But they're also very susceptible to typhus.
Oh.
And Rickettsia is the genus of many types of typhus. They would multiply in cells of the intestinal wall of the louse. The cells would burst, and then it would spill into the intestines and end up in the feces. So usually that would happen, and as the lice were dying from this bursting, they would go to a new host and bite it, and the host would scratch that bite, break the skin, and the rickettsia would make it into the bloodstream. The problem with
because of lice poop.
The problem, too, is that because lice is so prevalent, their feces turns into this like light powder that gets on a person's skin, and then it can also enter through the eyes and nose, not just the bloodstream. The Gaelic would call it the black fever because its mortality rate can be up to 60%. It's really, really rough. It can be as low as 10. Like there are people that survive. And before the CDC has their own numbers that were actually very close to these numbers that the Irish came up with at the time. But the operating days they were working under at the time was that the initial fever was 5 days. There were 7 to 10 days, or 7 to 14 days intervals between each relapse, and 3 to 4 relapses to a full recovery.
So, like, we're talking 3 months worth of illness.
And the relapsing fever was stronger and would pass more easily throughout.
Got it. So the fever was stronger, but would pass sooner. Everything.
Okay, so yes and no. There's a second fever.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Yeah.
That is separate from typhus.
Oh.
That is just making everything worse, basically.
Yeah,
so some people have both.
Complicating
it.
The diagnostics of it all.
Okay, get ready for an upsetting.
Oh, God. Okay.
I don't think it's going to be... Oh, God, we have so many more upsetting things to say. Okay. So it's just very, very passable. So this is straight out of the book. In Galway, there was a macabre incident. 3 strangers were infected by the same fever victim, a local gentleman who had died of the disease. The village barber fell ill while shaving the gentleman's corpse, went home, and died. The physician who administered an emena to the same gentleman on the eve of his death also fell ill and sank on the 14th day after passing through a most malignant form of typhus. The gentleman's coachman was the last of the 3 victims to be stricken. He fell ill while acting as a pallbearer at the gentleman's funeral.
Wow.
So it's everywhere.
Because was the lice the most common like transmitter?
It seems that way, but I think a lot of it they're still
because like pallbearer would lead me to believe that like still lice.
It's still lice. Oh, he's getting it lice from the corpse. Yeah. That's how. So
and the way that you described it earlier. So the lice would basically find a person that had typhus. Be like, oh no, I have typhus. Feel kind of ill. Jump to another person, bite them, die.
give them typhus.
But
But also you can get typhus from the powder feces of the lice.
Right,
So even if you
so-
just have lice and no open
you're
sores,
just like, oh, something in my eye, and you're like, no, I have
Typhus.
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 Cool.
And if there's no shed,
Yeah, just watch out for typhus bumps. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
you should be sorry for that one.
That's really bad.
Okay, so the peasant code in Ireland was still that you take in anyone who knocks, even if you can only shelter them from the cold. But that is getting
Oh, yeah.
really
Once the
complicated.
pestilence happens, it makes
With the
it,
pestilence.
Yeah.
People would take in strangers and then within weeks be sick or dead themselves. And disease was everywhere, but it was winter, and most people had already pawned their clothes months ago, and no one could pass up clothes on a dead corpse. So
Right.
they're just getting lice.
Yeah, or feces powder.
For feces, yeah, you get it. The same. People were trying to leave, but then they would go to lodging houses in the port cities and sleep 5 or 6 to a bed. Liverpool would end up with a ton of fever outbreaks because they were a huge immigrant destination.
Oh, and then the whole thing where they're like, oh, we don't want these immigrants coming in. They're bringing
this disease.
bringing typhus.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Unfortunately, also because disease is indiscriminate and they don't know about germs, it's killing doctors and it's killing priests. And those two groups were the people helping people.
Right.
So now there's even less caregivers. And then dysentery became incredibly prevalent. The weird thing about dysentery that I didn't know, and maybe it's only true when you're also starving to death, because in my mind, I always think about the Oregon Trail.
I think about Andersonville from the Civil War, and I'll tell you about that later.
Okay. But basically, if you've lived under a rock for 40 years and you don't know what it is, it's bloody diarrhea that kills you.
Yeah.
It's real bad
It's pooping and puking all of your fluids out of your body.
until you die.
Yeah.
But weirdly, mentally, apparently for the people suffering it from it in Ireland at this time, it was a peaceful death. And that most people who had it just continued to get weaker, knew they were dying, were resigned to their fate, but were grateful for the help. Like grateful for people like feeding them and giving them water. Like they were weirdly like, okay.
We've been going for a long time, and this is at least a nicer way to go.
This is an end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fever and dysentery together were also almost always fatal.
Yeah.
Also, because everything is bad, now people are having to deal with scurvy.
Of course.
Because potatoes, if nothing
well,
else,
why didn't they have
had
scurvy
vitamin
before?
C.
They were only
potatoes had vitamin C.
How did potatoes have vitamin C?
Didn't know it.
I didn't know it either.
They had enough to keep away the scurvy. So the fever was very, very bad, and obviously we don't have accurate information.
Yeah.
But it's estimated that there could be roughly 10 people who died from fever for every one who died from starvation.
Wow.
So everything we've talked about, every bleak thing we've said till now was all starvation.
It's escalating. It's
and
getting
now
very
we're
fast.
timesing it by 10.
I'll do this really quick, but because I mentioned Andersonville. Andersonville was a prison in the South during the Civil War that they put a bunch of Union soldiers in. And a lot of those people died of dysentery. Like the sanitation was not very good, so a lot of people got dysentery. And apparently, there's a mineral that you can take that is part of the medicine for dysentery these days. That literally that ground was fertile with. Like if you dug down and there's a little white mineral called kaolin that if you ate, it probably would have saved their lives, but they didn't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that's how we know that.
No. Later, we learned that kaopectate, which is the medicine, can help dysentery, but no, a lot of people died at Andersonville.
Sick.
Because they were sick.
Okay. I'm just going to look ahead to see how many bummers we have left in the episode.
Okay.
I think that might be the biggest bummer. That's kind of a silly. Okay. So if we want to do the last one, this is the impetus for the last sad.
So we're on our way into the last sad.
We're on our way into,
and then there's a silly.
It's silly. Everything's relative, but yes.
Okay, well, this will be our last Whiskey Emily Welsh for the evening. It's going to be mine because I'm extra sad.
I'll have a little bit of this one.
Okay, well, so to finish this is Glendalough Double Barrel Irish Whiskey. Apparently, I don't fully understand.
It's double barreled.
Cask.
So the first barrel is an American bourbon barrel.
Yeah, and the second barrel is a Spanish Orlosco.
Is it a wine?
I think it's a sherry, but I'm not 100% sure. But
let's read the top thing.
There you go.
Saint Kevin discovered Glendalough in the 6th century, inspiring our ancient city, which for hundreds of years beckons thousands of pilgrims and monks from far and wide, keepers of Irish knowledge and pioneers of distilled spirits.
Yeah.
We're proud to call this land of roaming, rugged beauty home.
Wow. What was St. Kevin about?
I don't know. And then the bottle says stand apart.
Hmm.
Good tip for COVID.
Yeah, and probably typhus.
Dark fruit, lemongrass, citrus, and nutmeg. The taste of smooth butterscotch, cherries, and peppercorn.
Oh.
And the finish of ginger spices, a touch of almond and earthiness.
Okay.
It is liquid proof that when you go the extra mile, you reap richer rewards.
There we go. Yeah. I'm not sure what
I'll
St.
look up
is
Kevin
about,
before.
Kevin is
I have a few people in
from
my family
Glendalough,
named
so-
after him, so I should probably know
yeah, sure.
who he is.
All right, well, here we are. We've had a very varied.
This is a very wide palette
Yeah.
of. I like that.
Yeah, I might have reordered them a little bit, but
Yeah, this is interesting. This is different than I've had. Obviously, from the multiple. I want to know more about the Spanish element.
yeah, this one has a much richer front than the rest of them.
This one is like, if you're making a night of what you're drinking.
Yeah,
Like, I think some of them are like, if you want the night to be about the thing and you happen to be drinking. This is like, do you want your night to be about the drink?
yeah,
This is like an interesting.
yeah,
It's different.
yeah. I think so far I do enjoy this one, but I do think my favorite was the first one we had so far.
I think my favorite was the Redbreast. Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
even though we're generally into a smokier whiskey, that one it just went down. So
It went down really
just had a
smooth.
really rich flavor.
Yeah.
This one is good. I'm very interested to see how
I'm not mad about any
how
of
it
it.
matures.
I didn't mean to get a little tipsy on a Monday night, but you
Date
did
night.
apparently. Date
Date
night.
night.
Okay. We did it wrong. We had the whiskey before the sad. Are you ready?
Oh, well, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, bracing whiskey. It's sadder than typhus.
No, I mean it's just a really graphic description of what starvation does to your body.
Sure.
So this is a quote from the book because they brought up an interesting point that I also had never really thought about. But basically, there's a very famous famine memorial in Ireland of people kind of wasting away, and the pictures that I posted, and then if you look it up, the drawings because it's 1846. It's very gaunt. It's very like the fat.
Yeah.
We all kind of think we know what a starving person looks like. But he makes a point to describe the fact that most of the drawings and political cartoons and everything are at the midpoint of the starvation cycle. So when people look like that, it hasn't gotten to its worst yet.
Yeah.
And I think that the look that we see is upsetting, but it's like somehow more palatable because they're just smaller. You're like, oh God, if I got them a sweater and a meal, they'd be okay.
Yeah.
But this is
There comes a point of no return that all the only respite is death.
and I'm about to tell you about it.
Exciting.
So that American guy was witnessing all this,
Yeah.
and
The visitor.
Barrett. But once, so quote from the book: "The body has begun to cannibalize itself. Bones protrude, the face is hollowed out, muscle and skin hang from the frame, but the most hideous changes have not yet occurred. In the later stages of starvation, the eyelids inflame, the angular lines around the mouth deepen into cavities, the swollen thyroid gland becomes tumor-sized, fields of white fungus cover the tongue, blistering mouth sores develop, the skin acquires the texture of parchment, teeth decay and fall out, their gums ooze pus, and a silky growth of hair covers the face. When the victim lies on his back, the articulations of the spine protrude through the skin of the stomach. Hunger edema, grotesque swelling is also common. Ehud Burritt had already been familiar with edema when he visited Skibbereen. Passing public worksites in Ireland, he had seen men with limbs swollen to almost twice their natural size, digging ditches and pushing wheelbarrows. In a cabin in Skibbereen, Burritt encountered edema in its most florid form. A boy of about 12 with a cold, watery face and a body swollen to nearly 3 times its natural size. Nothing could be more hideous, Barrett thought. Then, from a darkened corner of the cabin, a toddler appeared with a body swollen to the size of a full-grown person. Yeah, it's rough. I don't have fun facts about that.
No, that might be the understatement of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's horrifying in ways that we didn't even know.
yeah. Like I know about the fact that like a distended belly is a thing that happens sometimes.
I
when
didn't know
you're
your
extra-
whole body could swell.
But your whole body that. I mean, I don't know, bodies are fucking weird, but
They're weird.
the gauntness in the cheeks and all of that is something I would expect, but I wonder how far gone somebody with that level of starvation we've like
I think they're gone, dude.
bring back from the brink.
I think they're gone. I mean, maybe now. Maybe if you
Yeah,
could give them an IV of like highly concentrated
Yeah.
medication and
Yeah, well, and it probably is a
nutrients.
thing that you have to like very carefully control to get
Yeah,
to, like,
'cause even
if you just
people-
flood them with food,
Any
then,
rescue story you hear, they're like,
Yeah.
go slow, you're gonna get
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Like you can't just gorge yourself.
yeah, Poof. But teeth falling out and
Oozing pus, spine bones.
oh, that was
Okay, well, I have to get through this next part of just facts, but then there is kind of a silly thing. So
Okay,
we're just
okay.
gonna keep moving. We're getting close. The episode's kind of long, so we gotta push through.
we gotta carry on.
So by 1847, America was fully in tune on what was going on, and many, especially in Boston, could remember being in Ireland and felt these feelings viscerally when they heard about it. But because of how news traveled, they were getting their news 3 to 8 weeks late because it's on paper and by boat. Like there's no internet. So typhus, dysentery, scurvy, and starvation, by the time it hit, kind of just globbed into one horrific thing. And unfortunately, people in Ireland were resistant to helping each other because once someone is sick, they could get other people sick.
Right.
So
Yeah.
even in Cork, there were Dublin police stationed outside city entrances because people were showing up in search of food. Fever continued to spread throughout the workhouses, and the workhouses weren't refusing people, so there was overcrowding, some almost twice as full as they should be. So by February of 1847, the Temporary Fever Act was passed, and 373 new fever facilities would be built. But so many people were sick and dying.
It's way too late.
It's way too late.
Way too late.
And they're just building fever sheds, and these fever sheds are going to increase the poor rate. So the taxpayers are also upset. And a month later, in March, O'Connell would pass away. Our fearless liberator. Man.
Yeah.
Who's not really super in the story, but
Yeah. Well, he kind of lost all his power when he backed the guy that was going to be whatever the governor, mayor, or whatever it is, and then
Prime Minister.
Yeah, it split up the prime. Sure, but then basically split up the opposition coalition.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so we're gonna get a new officer. We're gonna get some soup kitchens, and then we'll end it so no more. I don't think everything's haunting, but no more incredibly haunting.
yeah, we're gonna have to. We got to bring him back up. We got to bring it back up before we end this thing.
Yeah. So at the House of Commons, Mr. Smith O'Brien, who's one of the Young Ireland people, said that he thought there had been at least 240,000 starvation deaths. And there was pushback on that number, but partially because they
There's actually more like 220,000.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that they couldn't get the number because so many people hadn't buried their dead, were hiding their dead in their cabin walls until they could afford coffins. Fields were littered with body parts. I'm sorry I lied. It's very upsetting. I just...
You're doing great. I hope everyone else is doing great. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, they can't respond. It's a podcast.
Yeah. Remember that time we talked about people's faces melting? Yeah, you know.
Radium girls?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what upsetting thing?
Yeah.
So
because that's our theme. Our secret secret bonus theme is
being sad.
Very
and
sad.
Icky.
Yeah.
Pus is the second.
We could have all done better is, part of it.
That's correct. So now it's March. The American corn is coming in, but the average public works wage is only 7.5 pence a day, so nobody could really afford it. And by the spring, the public works program would be closed, and a network of 2,000 soup kitchens would be established slowly. And a guy named General John Burgoyne was the new chairman of the Relief Commission. He had previously been the director of the Irish Board of Works. And he fought in the French Wars. He was a tall, handsome officer in his 60s. People were excited about him. They got faith in him. So he went to Dublin Castle to start his job. Ralph was feeling a little bit demoted because he was a little bit demoted. And Captain John was supposed to have 2,000 soup kitchens soon, the first running within 6 weeks, the first group running within 6 weeks. And he, because he's British, wanted the operation to be fraud proof. So again, stop everything. Stop everything.
I'm so angry. I'm just, all that I can think of right now is the idea that, like, what is the point of money when people are dying of starvation?
Well, don't worry.
What is the point?
Don't worry. The Public Works program had not worked, and they recognized that. So they shut everything down, and what they did is produce 14 tons of documentation. 14 tons of paper, baby. Paper.
I just, you
can eat paper. Frankie does it all the time.
I was okay. This podcast, I've been really enjoying this. But the more I learn, going into this, I was like, okay, capitalism, socialism, communism, all of these things.
Isms.
There are ways to, break all systems. So, it's just about picking one of them and then having, being diligent about making sure that there's compassion built into the system. But what is money when people are dying this? What's the point? It's like making them try to play Monopoly while they're starving to death.
Literally.
You're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you can't pass go. I'm like, I am dying.
You're going to get more upset. Breathe it out.
Okay.
So they produce record books, food cards to help stop the chaos. They come up with a color-coding index card system, where to stand
They make the Dewey Decimal System in this moment.
Essentially.
Which I do need to do Dewey Decimal because that's also racist and problematic.
Yeah, we'll get there. But officers even had opinions about the type of soup. They were going to decide what happened if you missed your name, you had to get back in the back of the line. Like, they were coming up with explanations for every single thing.
They're crawling to the food banks, Emily.
Well, it's okay. This is the type of soup is the silly. So are you ready for a soup talk?
Oh, I love soup.
Little soup
Emily
talk.
hates soup.
Somebody on Threads, I meant to send it to you, was like, wouldn't it be nice if it was fall? It was like a little cold, and you went to a place, and instead of beers to taste, it had soups, and it was just like you tried soups to hang out. Maybe it was called a stewery, and I was like, oof. Danny Moss, did you join Threads?
I'm there. I'm ready to go. I would just have so many different types of bisque.
Mess up a soup.
You
would have such weird poops after that.
Soups and poops.
Bleh.
That's the secret name, underground name for it.
Yeah.
So
the soup.
The soup.
It had to hit 3 marks. It had to be cheap, flavorful, nutritious. It's a little bit of like a cheap, done fast, quality, whatever it is, that triangle where it's like you can't have all three.
You can either done fast, done quick, or you're right.
Done fast, done quick, or
or done speedily.
Done speedily.
Yeah.
Done fast, done well, or done cheaply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a Frenchman named Alexis Soyer created what they would call soup for the poor.
Poor soup.
Poor soup. No, they don't like that. It's called soup for the poor.
Okay. They don't like poor soup.
It's a homeless
Soup for the
versus
poor.
houselessness conversation. Soup for the poor. Yeah. He was a famous French chef. He invented the gas oven.
Oh.
And he was really into scientific food prep, which they don't really explain, but he's kind of like a gastronomical.
There's a gastronomical movement of food that everybody's super stoked about.
So he's that.
A lot of like test tube kitchens.
And basically, he comes up with his recipe for soup number one, which is literally what they call it.
This is soup number one.
This is soup number one. And they show the recipe, and everyone's kind of skeptical because it's like a small bit of beef, and then it's like fat droppings and brown sugar and things that are like they're not in their minds soup things.
Yeah.
But the cost projections were almost half of what they had been paying in previous soup kitchens.
Okay.
About 3/4 of a penny to a quart of soup. So they were like, let's go.
Let's
soup
go.
guy.
Like, give us our sweet meat soup.
Yeah. And so 6 weeks later, 100 Dublin notables went to the first soup kitchen experience. So this is the weird thing. They have this place where he's like 100 people can eat at a time.
Beat it.
Beat it.
Get out of here.
Beat it. You're going to be really, It's kind of silly. This was what I thought was silly, but it's kind of just enraging.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just primed for being so furious.
But it's literally he has this giant soup boiler.
Yeah.
And he's making this soup, and then he's like, we're gonna seat 100 people at a time. He's like talking about it like it's some real restaurant.
There's all of the podcasts give money to this kitchen guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Alver. Kitchen. Oh my God, this is gonna drive me crazy. But yes,
it'll pop into your head. But just he's like presenting it like it's like a bespoke,
literally,
like Brooklyn helpful.
He's like, this is what I've created.
Yeah.
So it's gonna serve 100 people at a time. It's bowls with soups chained to them. They all walk in at once, and 100 rich, notable people from Dublin did this first. But there's 3 bells. They walk in. There's a bell to sit. They walk in, they sit. There's a bell to pray, a bell to eat, and a bell to finish.
If you don't do it right, the soup Nazi pops out.
It comes out.
There's no for you.
Literally. And then when you leave, you get some bread or a biscuit on your way out.
Oh.
So you don't even get to dip.
Yeah. Well, come on. That's what the bread's for.
I don't know if that's the speed thing
Well,
or what.
it's a reward for being moral about the way you eat your soup.
You get bread.
And then you get a little Linder chocolate.
You get
it's
dirt.
delicious.
I mean, that would be a reward. This is dirt bread.
No, it's dirt bread.
So literally the wealthy people went through the first feeding, poor people came for the second feeding, and people were like, the vibe was like they were zoo animals. Like, because it's just these wealthy Dubliners being like, oh, they're very hungry. Like, wow.
This soup does taste okay.
Yeah.
Look at all these pores.
But Ralph thought that Sawyer was a artist and soup number 1 should be everywhere.
Yeah. Is that like motif number 5? Soup number 1.
Soup number 1.
Do you know the like I don't know if fairy tales are. Do you know stone soup as a concept?
Of course.
You know the idea. I wonder where
Aesop's fables.
Oh, is that where it's from? I was wondering where that came from because the idea of like, the thing is this whole community would just bring more stones. They would say, I brought this other stone.
I'm helping.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
Which is not their fault because
all they got is stones.
All they got is stones.
That and murder dogs.
Murder dogs.
Okay, so then the people who team no help got some good news.
Who's team no help?
Everybody. The people who think they're trying to justify that they don't need help. Because
I see.
They decide that money is being created somehow because there was more money being put into banks by the Irish this year than the last. So put into savings accounts. So they were like, look at all this money.
Because you can't use money for anything.
That's not why. They're like, look, we're recovering. But the money that was being put aside was by middle and upper classes because they were either going to emigrate. So they were either putting the money into the bank to be like, I'm going to take this money
away.
Get out of here. Or they were doing it to just, wait. Yeah, they were basically just putting it aside to emigrate.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
There's no other. For some reason, I thought there was another reason. It's just to leave. And with the spring planting coming very soon, large farmers and landowners are still delaying these agricultural operations because none of them really have faith that anything good is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So they're scared to plant. They're scared to give money. They're
good instinct.
Honestly. So the public works programs were told to close, and they were still very scared to close because fear and anger. So on March 20th, they cut 20%, and they were going to keep cutting the programs at 2 to 3 week intervals. So the first people that were cut were men that had 10 acres or more. The second group were people with physical infirmities. And the soup was going to start being served on the 15th, but they were in no way ready to feed as many people as they laid off, especially their families. Because for every person you're laying off, there's a family behind them.
You're only feeding 100 at a time because that is the format.
Well, that's one place, but they're not doing it right. But at different work sites, they're deciding in different ways who's getting laid off. At one, men drew sticks to see who would be let go. One committee just crossed off every fifth person. In some towns, people rioted and destroyed the large soup boilers, which made no sense, but nothing made sense.
Yeah.
Like they're just mad. They're dying.
Well, all of this feels like such an afterthought and so it's such a small response to such a big problem.
Yeah.
That also fuck them. Like they're dying.
Yeah. They're just it's everything, And in April there's still 400 people on the work rolls. But now there is sympathetic sentiment. And again, it's because there's so many dead kids that they're like, "Oh God." Mm-hmm. So the British start having this conversation about a day of observance. And they're like, maybe a day of observance will raise awareness and get people to give more money.
Sure.
Not a terrible idea in theory.
No.
But they wanted a theme to the awareness.
Oh, come on.
And the theme is atonement.
Atonement?
Well, because the crop failure was Providence, so that was their fault, right? Because of the potato culture and the large families.
So the British control Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't it have been the British's fault?
Well, so interesting that you say that.
Okay.
So they're like, we're going to atone too. But what have we done wrong? What is it? So they decided they were going to atone for their pride and for their wealth and for allowing the Irish to slip beyond human civilization, essentially. So what they were going to do is have a day of fasting and humiliation.
Jesus Christ.
And it was a few days after the public works shut down.
Did they take all the food that they didn't eat while they were fasting and give it to the Irish?
They certainly did not. Also, the first thing the book is like, so they were going to fast, right? But this one lord, he made it halfway through the day, and then he just had a crust of bread and then a little bit of meat. And then, so people aren't even taking that seriously. And they said that parts of central London did have a somber feel. People were going to church in central London. Yeah. But a ton of people in more regional areas used it as a day to go to a picnic or go to the park. Like they don't care. They're like, it's a day off, sick. Meanwhile, in Ireland, more bodies are being eaten by dogs. And a shopkeeper described giving a woman some milk for her baby and then seeing that woman dead on the road the same day with the baby still alive in her arms. I forgot about that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The soup is kind of silly.
The soup is silly.
I'm sorry. It's not a fun story.
It's not a fun story. It is listing way more genocide than it was. It was before. It was just like straight up famine and dum-dums, and now it's feeling very much like willful ignorance genocide.
Meanwhile, during all of this, the English are really getting ready to transfer the entire cost of Irish relief to the Irish taxpayer with the Poor Extension Act, and it was going to raise their property taxes from roughly £400,000 to £1,800,000.
Because they got a lot of money.
Yeah, they're ready with it.
They got so much money.
And the Irish were concerned about a class war because if the rates got too high, there was just going to be such an even larger difference in wealth from the poor to the wealth. Like they're like, we can't do this. But the Brits also hoped that transferring the debt would keep people from emigrating. I'm not 1,000% sure why, but that's what they thought. Trevelyan also thought that the law would make it cheaper to pay for labor than to pay the poor rate. So his hope was that people wouldn't want to pay the poor rate, so they would pay people to work. Because then the poor rate would go down because the poor rate was supporting the people who couldn't support themselves. Again, just willful ignorance and idiocy. But the House of Commons would fight viciously about all of this, and the poor believed that if the poor rate was raised, the Irish believed rather that if the poor rate was raised, they would all be in the workhouse anyway. They're like, this is not a solution. We can't support this. But Mr. William Gregory created an amendment to the Poor Law Extension Act, which passed very easily, 117-7, which would deny relief to small farmers unless they agreed to surrender all but a quarter acre of their land. So
Why are you taking from these people that have nothing?
Well, it would make the Poor Law Extension Act an instrument of social engineering. Like they were able to reformate how the whole society was.
Such a so all depressions, the rich find a way to
take more,
to take way more. Like it's the redistribution of wealth that happens during depressions, during famines, during all of this stuff is absolutely disgusting. And this is a huge example of that.
It's all bad. And this amendment would completely crush the small farmer class. Within 6 years, the number of small farms in Ireland, those between 1 and 5 acres, would fall 52%.
And society definitely is better when there's no small farmers, when it's all macro farming.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. We don't like field diversity. We don't business diversity. We don't like small business.
Plant diversity.
That's what I'm saying.
If things
that's what I meant by field diversity.
Yeah.
So in April, Sawyer the soup man said goodbye, reminding people that they could visit the Sawyer model kitchen and watch the poor eat for 5 shillings. And that would be donated to charity. And then he went back to London.
Oh, this is the
soup man.
So the whole time it was a you could pay 5 shillings to watch the poor eat food.
Not the whole time, just on this one day.
Yeah, okay, but still.
Maybe they should have done the whole time because farm animals eat.
But also Jesus Christ.
No, it's all bad.
It's so bad.
It's all bad. And by April 24th, 209,000 of the public works laborers had been cut. And Colonel Jones, the new guy, decided that by May 1st, all public work projects needed to be closed unless told otherwise, which even Trevelyan thought was too much.
These new people just showing up, and everyone else has failed before them, and they're like, I'm gonna day one, I'm gonna figure this out.
This
is a problem. They're just a bunch of idiots. And you're like, no, it's just bad.
It's really bad, and you're not that smart.
Yeah.
Even Trevelyan knew this was insane because 2 million people would be affected and only half the soup kitchens were operational, because by 2 million, I mean the families, if you shut it all down. One workhouse had 104 inmates and 24 beds. In Galway, there were more bodies than grave diggers. And in Galway, the dead actually were buried next to a fever shed, which was near the well, and fever killed the master, his wife, and 2 doctors.
Near the well feels like a bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
O'Brien, the young Ireland guy, reminded the colonel that in the Commons, the works weren't supposed to close until the kitchens opened. But he was like, we never said that. Who said that? What are you talking about?
I am so sad and angry.
The shutdowns did get slowed down a bit. And by June 1st, 2,729,824 people were being fed by soup kitchens, which is an achievement.
Yeah. Emily, isn't it so fun to learn about history?
I love it.
Isn't it just so cool just to learn about things?
What if I was just watching Below Deck right now? I'd be happy and rested.
Yeah. What are y'all doing listening to this?
Don't tell them to stop.
Oh, right. No. I'm so sorry. It's good to learn about these things so that we can stop them from happening in the future.
So the second half of the plan that they originally had, that 50,000 to get people to go home and plant seed, also didn't work.
Right.
Because wealthy people were leaving the country. The middle of the road people didn't want to lend money to the poor because they didn't think they were actually going to plant.
Right.
And those who could plant were worried that if they did, the landlord would take the crops the second they were grown.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rest of them were crawling to the soup kitchens.
So next episode will be our last episode of this series, and we will discuss the fact that in April of 1847, about 500,000 people were going to Irish goodbye, as they say.
Yeah.
They were going to get out of there.
Get out. Well, the getting was way past good.
Way past good. Yeah.
The getting was bad.
Yeah, so next week we're going to talk about coffin ships. It's going to be so fun. And maybe we'll do an ice cream social.
Yeah. We could try various Irish creams.
Hey.
You could just drink Baileys the whole night.
Hey, there you go.
We might need the coffee because I'm just to pep us up.
Oof. This was almost 2 hours of sadness.
Yeah.
Bleak city.
The thing is, the whiskey of it all did slow it down and add to this. But I needed it.
I needed it. This might come out later in the day on Tuesday, you guys.
We'll see.
We're going to see.
We'll see.
Sorry.
I'm going to edit at 2.5 speed, so if there's some extra ums, I'm so sorry.
All right. Well, there is one more episode. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you have a good zany topic for me next time, let me know, because Danny's idea of zany is 3rd-degree burns on an elderly person. But yeah, we appreciate all the new listeners. We appreciate everybody who is listening. If you want to hit us with a follow, hit us with a comment, all those lovely things. Any feedback is good feedback at this moment. We're trying to figure out what you guys like and what you don't. Yep. So if you want to leave a comment on any place about, well, including to our faces, whatever you want.
Yeah. Also, Greg, thanks for the whiskey.
Thanks for the whiskey,
I needed
Greg.
It.
I'm going to give you an angry hangover text in the morning. That's what I'm going to do, because, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Everybody say a little prayer in their heart that Frankie sleeps till at least 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And
also remember, famine's no joke. That was too bleak.
It's not.
Anyways, remember.
No, really, remember, famine's not the problem. The fever is.
Avoid the typhoid.
See, maybe our fun facts next week will be places we're going to visit in Ireland that aren't sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, thank you, Ireland, for these whiskeys.
Thank you, Ireland.
Thank you, Ireland. The whiskeys of the night were delicious and delightful. Thank you for making it through this horrible atrocity that was foisted upon you by an uncaring overlord.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening, and a big thanks to Carsey Blanton for the theme music. You can follow the podcast everywhere at Yeet the Rich Pod. You can email us your suggestions for future episodes at yeettherichpod@gmail.com. You can follow me at TheFunnyWalsh, and you can follow Danny at DMoss315. See you next week.